All right, so here we go. Announcements. Westchester County has scheduled 3 community input hearings as far as Westchester Airport. Two have already passed. One was June 6th. That was on the master plan. The one yesterday was on governance and privatization. And I think the one that many, many residents are concerned about is coming up on June 25th, 7 p.m., and that's on operations and noise. And that's at the West Harrison Senior Center. Come join us for the last day of school on the rec field from 11 a.m. to 1:30. That's June 22nd. We're going to have a bounce rides, obstacle course, games, band, kids band, and free pizza and more. All kids welcome. The Chapel concerts start at June 27th. Leading off is Chapel Orchestra. July 11th is White Wedding, which is an 80s tribute band. I think they do a lot
Billy
of
Idol?
U2.
They were
A lot of
good.
U2, I think.
White Wedding would be Billy Idol.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Let's
Billy
say
Idol's
you're
White
right.
Wedding.
You're right. But I thought he said it was also U2. But you're right. July 18th, Tramps Like Us. That's a Bruce Springsteen cover band. July 25th, Rebecca Haviland and Whiskey Heart. And August 1st, FDR Drive. So it's 5 concerts this year. The Newcastle Arts and Culture Committee presents Lawn Chair Theater, Shakespeare's version of The Tempest at the rec field on July 20th at 6 p.m. Bring a blanket or chair and have a picnic dinner while watching it play. And that's it for announcements. There's also, I meant to add the shared service public hearing. You know when that is? It's coming up soon. We'll get back to you with the date on that. There's a public hearing
It's
at
June
Mount Kisco
14th.
Library. Is it June 14th?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you might be right. It's coming up. It's at the Mount Kisco Library, and that's a public hearing on the shared services. Okay, Supervised Report. Let me try to just bang through it tonight, right, real quick. We have Kaz here. Is going to give us an update on the streetscape project. Apparently, the sewer is supposed to be done by the end of this week. They're going to start doing the drainage next week. Con Ed has been in town moving the poles. If you notice, the poles are taller, and they're really much taller in some locations. And they've relocated some of the lines already, and it really makes a difference. They obviously need to take down the old poles, and not all the wires are moved yet. But from the wires that are up, it really makes a big difference. We're going to start to explore leaf blower legislation. Our Sustainability Advisory Board is proposing some legislation. I won't get into that right now, but there's a whole bunch of towns who've already passed seasonal bans on motorized blowers. Our electric shuttle soon is going to arrive. I think it was maybe going to arrive on Monday. Jill, you know if it came? But it's coming any day. I know they were getting the registration and everything in order. Proud to take part in the Chapel Crossing apartment dedication last week. And the iconic cupola building at Chapel Crossing now represents how affordable housing should be. Integrated with market rate units and workforce housing in a beautiful and vibrant location. This is affordable housing we can be proud of. This is housing we can be proud of. Okay, apparently our comp plan website is now live.
Oh, good.
So people can
Very
check
good.
that out at plannewcastle.us, US. And we appointed 13 members to the Newcastle Airport Advisory Committee, and which is good. Taxi service. Unfortunately, due to the mandatory increase in minimum wage, and this I'm basically taking from the letter that Lero sent to us, unfortunately, due to the mandatory increase in minimum wage and the effects of Uber, Lyft, and other transportation network companies, abbreviated TNC, not to be confused with Town of Newcastle.
Or
Team Newcastle is
Just
waiting
wanna
for
make
you.
sure.
That one. Greeley Taxi has decided to no longer provide local service from Chapco train station as of June 28th. We sent a request for proposals to 20 taxi companies in Westchester.
67.
67? I thought, oh, okay, I got to update that, definitely. We realize how important this is to our residents and those who work in our community, and we'll do everything we can to fill the void left by Greeley Taxi. We joined We Are Still In. Newcastle is still involved in the Paris Accord, and so we basically signed on to We Are Still In. Congratulations to Betsy Tao for being a Woman of Distinction honoree. It was a very nice ceremony, and proud to take part in the Girl Scouts Gold Award ceremony with Ivy, and that was held a couple weekends ago. So that's it for me. On to Jill Shapiro's Administrator's Report. Joe Shapiro. Shapiro.
Thank you. Surplus vehicle auction. Happy to report that we have garnered $5,140 from the sale of 3 used vehicles. Good deal. Con Ed utility work in town. As Rob mentioned, Con Ed is in town and replacing utility poles. Due to the number of trucks and the location of their work, Woodburn Avenue was blocked for several hours today. Felt like people were detouring motorists. That they may be back again tomorrow. There is in fact access through the train station, through Lower King Street and exiting on Washington Avenue. Motorists should expect intermittent detours throughout the work. Please leave extra time if you're traveling to and through town. And again, we apologize for the inconvenience, but once Con Ed comes, we try not to
Send them
have them
away.
go, yeah, send them away until they're finished. Parking permits expire this Friday, June 15th, so if you have not renewed your parking permit already, please do so. We have online renewal. There is a credit card fee, but that's, your option. It's, I did it, easy as pie. Westchester County will be working on a sewer extension down Hunts Place. So we will find out the date for you on that, but it should be happening shortly. Road restoration will then take place after school is out because it's a critical location there. The Innington Pump Station is finally being tested on Wednesday, June 20th. So hopefully they're just going to make sure that it turns on and works properly for the impending use of the Catskill Aqueduct. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Good evening.
And now, just for organizational purposes, this is our construction update with John Kazawick from Boswell Engineering.
Okay, where we stand right now, we should be finished with the mainline sewer by the end of this week. We have one last connection over to the school, and then next week we'll be doing all the laterals. They're just not connected to the buildings at this time because of a conflict in the beginning of the job with the bypass line. We couldn't switch it over. So once we're done with the full line and we can start backing our way out, they'll be done. So it looks by the end of next week, we should have all of that in.
You're referring
And,
to the sanitary sewer South Greeley.
Yeah, we're at the end of the line now.
So John, what does that mean in terms of what people will see for the plates, backfilling, paving?
Yeah,
When can we expect all that?
I'm hoping by the end of next week, all the steel plates will be off of the sidewalk. It'll all be paved. The crossings will be paved over at the Washburn. I think they might even be doing that this weekend, like Thursday night. They might even be doing it tomorrow night. I'll find out tonight, where they are with that because it's a matter of getting the hot asphalt. But yeah, so by the end of next week, we should have everything paved temporarily in all those areas, and we will be starting the excavation to do the core the hole through the culvert to start the drainage now. So we're hoping, I think, end of next week or the week after that they'll come start digging that to cut that hole into the culvert, and then we'll be doing that for probably 3 months.
Now, the culvert, when you say the culvert, just for people listening. what do you
In
mean?
front of the gas station, the concrete drain line that goes under, it's a mini bridge. It's like a concrete bridge, square culvert that we have to cut in, like an 8-foot by 8-foot hole to put the big pipe in. And, because it's a big elliptical pipe, it's like 28 by 42-inch elliptical pipe that goes into it. And you have to put rebar, concrete it into it to make it support. So we're hoping to start that end of next week, the week after.
That's all that stuff in the back parking lot, those big.
All the big pipes, all those big chambers, and then we start going,
concrete.
yeah, then we start going down South Greeley all the way up to Rite Aid. And it'll all be at night. It's a lot when that comes. But, Con Ed's been on site. They've been moving pretty good. I've been in contact with them, doing some changes. I spoke with them just before I got here, and tomorrow I'm going to contact Altice and Verizon about doing their lines because in another week or so they should have Con Ed should have their work done to the South Fork of 120. So from there down to Town Hall, Verizon and Altice can start moving their stuff so that we can get rid of the poles. And then that'll make it so that when we come through at the sidewalk, we can go right up to the new poles.
You think there's any extra wires on those things? Like when they start moving their wires, are there any wires that have been not even used?
Some of it is. We've come up with a way to remove the pole in front of Pizza Station, that one with the big pot on it.
I mean, just wires that are actually on the poles already that maybe they're like old wires that could be.
Some of them, yeah, some of them are replacing, some of them are double lines. They said they could upgrade them, and that's why they're going up higher. So, yeah, there should be less. And they're gonna clean up the stuff, like if you see over by the gazebo, that big thick pipe, that with the wire comes down, there's a big chamber like on the road. All that's all like a splice for fiber optics. That's all gonna be redone up in the air, so that'll all be gone, cleaned up. I already spoke to them about cleaning up the poles down by Rite Aid that they have, that Verizon has to get off of. That's why I want them out here now, because they have stuff they can do. They can be doing that stuff now while they wait for Con Ed, because, I mean, we're getting into the summer, and so I know what happens sometimes with that. So, you know, they start getting transformer fires because it gets too hot and all that, and so that's when you start losing people with the overhead guys. So I'm just trying to get, it's nice and cool, things are moving, so.
How many poles have they done, kind of, so far?
Now I think we got about six.
They've only,
6 new ones in
they
already.
put 6 new ones.
Yeah,
But they've dug the holes for more than 6.
yeah. Yeah, they have a couple more dug, but we had conflicts. The conduits in one. The other one they dug is the one in front of Pizza Station, but now it looks like we're gonna put it around the corner, so that one will be gone, and I'll be able to span the full span. And they've been starting to frame it. They got the one up for the new sign for the Board of Education. That pole is up with the anchor, so now we can start with that. So I met with the architect, so I'm waiting for that to start.
That's where
that
the
part.
community sign is going to go. That's what we were waiting on, so that provided the electrical service that had to be established first before we could do any of the foundation work for the sign, so.
Got it.
Yeah, want to
Moving
line it
along.
up with our curbs, I mean, our sidewalks, so it lines up, you know. So we're doing
Poles are
that now.
nice, they're nice and straight, they're not, they're off the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah,
Much
and they're
nicer.
nice tall, yeah, they look good like that. They're doing like 20, they added even more, so. They might even be doing the ones in the diamond now, they said. Because they looked at the one, the top of it's got a kink to it, it's cracked.
We call it a triangle.
In the
The
diamond.
triangle, yeah,
Triangle.
triangle, diamond, whatever,
Oh, really?
Alec
Okay.
calls it teardrop.
teardrop, whatever, you know.
So I'll ask you, since it's going to be asked, I figure I'll give you the lob
It's okay.
to start. So I know that drainage flows downhill, right? So does sanitary sewer, water, it's always going
Yep.
to go down. And sometimes when people complain, it goes downhill onto us.
Yeah, and then it comes down to me.
Yeah, so my question to you is, I've been telling people, when they ask, and that was my understanding, that hopefully sometime late summer, things would look, even if not done, look a lot better downtown.
Yeah.
And when you look at the schedule, for example, I understand that everything moves, but, you know, curbs by September, traffic signal by June, these are just some examples, 5 and 6. Sidewalks starting in July, now, for example, sidewalks starting out basically November, and ending in April. So we're months and months and months behind. Can you just generally explain, and I'm not saying this is you, I mean, there's a lot of.
Oh, no,
other
yeah,
factors.
why?
There's a lot of, why is the frustration gonna last for another 5 months? And what should people expect in terms of physical, what we're going to see happen, in terms of traffic, in terms of just our quaint downtown Hamlet? What should they expect over the next few months?
No, okay, the reason, the
So
main
there's two
reason-
questions, why and what should we expect?
Yeah, so the why reason. The main reason with why is when this contract was originally going out, it was actually 2 construction seasons with a winter in the middle. But because of the delay in putting it out with the changes from the DOT and all the stuff that went on with that, it set it off. So now in the 20 months, you had the end of one construction season, 2 winters, you know, so you had the winter, another construction season, and then you ended in the February, in the 20-month span. And between that, we had a little bit of a delay with the sanitary and with the hand digging, that change order that came through with the problem with the gas line. When you all said it like that, we come to the conclusion, we're gonna get as much done as we can by Thanksgiving. The merchants want us pretty much
Thanksgiving this coming.
this coming Thanksgiving, they're gonna get as much as they can by then. And the problem that we have is the merchants want us off. So we're thinking, okay, You can't do curb, you can't do concrete work, you can't do paving through the winter. So they're looking at shutting down most of the operation from Thanksgiving until after the first of the year, so that we'll be stabilized, everything will be as much sidewalk and curb in, any place where it isn't will be paved, so it'll be somewhat cleaned to an area that looks nice, it's usable. And then that'll give them some time in the winter, when they come back, like in January, February, they'll have their electrical, but you can start doing the light posts, and you can pull wire in the winter. There's stuff you can do in the winter that isn't temperature sensitive. So they're planning on doing that. On top of that,
Well, when do you expect the traffic light to go in?
from what they're saying on here, I know they got most of
See
their
it move
stuff
from May
in.
until,
Well, there was the delay because of the new pole and the new arms that we talked about. And I think there was a lead time on that of 18 weeks, I think they said. So you're looking at another 4 months, but that can be done when it's 5 degrees out. You can put that stuff and pull the wires and all that. It's not a temperature sensitive operation. So that's why, my understanding is once we start digging for the curbs, they have to put in all the underground conduit for all the light fixtures before we can do the concrete and the paver bricks. So they're going to be coming in soon to do that. So once Verde gets here, who's the subcontractor doing electrical, that'll all start going together. They'll be doing the conduits there. I don't know what kind of crews they have, if they have certain crews that do the big foundations. So that'll all be going at the same time.
so the purpose of optics, nothing else. When people are complaining, and I realize they're upset, but sometimes it is what it is, it has to get done,
Yeah.
so it is what it is. But optics purposes, when kids are coming back from the summer to start school, we should expect a, relatively speaking, drastically different looking downtown.
Yeah.
It's not complete.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be
Yeah.
metal plates and,
No, yeah, that'll all be gone. That'll all be gone. Because once I get done with the storm, which will be done, if you look on here, the storm is going to be done by October. Then we'll have it'll at least be paved. There'll be no more steel pipes. We don't have to dig all that up anymore.
temporary paving.
Yeah, temporary pave until, there's areas that have to be boxed out. We're trying to figure out what we can do. And then the winter, it'll sit. I know that they're not planning on doing the crosswalks because we won't be able to top pave it until next year. So they don't want to leave the crosswalks up the 1.5-inch ramp because of plowing and everything. So they're hoping to get it all base paved, so it all looks clean, temporary stripe it so that it's, all drivable. And then when they come back in the spring, then they'll start cutting those things in, do any of, our biggest concern now is, well, actually my biggest concern now is Con Ed. Because they originally said 4 to 5 months. Well, 4 to 5 months puts us past hurricane season, which I know what happens, just like what happened before. The summer you start getting all the transformers blowing up because if it gets to 100 degrees and then they don't shut anything off, you can't kill power because of all that. So you have to really watch what happens with that. And it could be nothing and then just go right through real nice. Or it can be like Puerto Rico and everybody's gone for 6 weeks.
So
8
what happens
weeks.
then? So in the
They-
worst case scenario, Con Ed gets called
Well,
out
they
to.
go, what it will do is, what that stops is just double poles. So like in areas where there'd be a double pole, we would do the concrete and everything to that area. And then they would pave that to leave for the winter if they don't get to it. But the whole idea is like we're doing now is they're trying to get their stuff done up to 120 so that we can get it done. And then we come in with the curb and sidewalk, we're done up to 120. So we don't have to worry about from there down to town hall. We can finish all the curb, all the sidewalk, everything can go in. It's when you start getting to like Lower King maybe, or you're going Upper King, where we have to put that curb out and pump everything out.
So we can't start the curb and sidewalk work until the pole relocation is finished?
No, we can start that. They're planning on starting the curb in, I think, in about a month or so.
I think if I understood him correctly, is we
August.
can start it,
We
but we
can't finish it.
Yeah.
Right.
The curb most of the curb can go in. It's just areas of sidewalk
August.
where you have the pole that had to be moved, say for the handicap ramp, and you have 2 poles there now. So we can't finish the concrete, you can't put the handicap ramp all in the way to make it is the code until the other pole is
Which is August.
stripped, all the, because they won't take out T's off or Verizon until Con Ed is fully off the pole and it's cut off. So that's where the problems start coming in. That's what I'm trying to get them.
John, it says
Con Ed
August,
got the
it says
poll.
August 6th for the curb, so the curb is happening
Curb
before then?
starting.
Yeah, it's starting somewhere around August.
August?
It
I
could
mean,
be
it's just
sooner.
June, so
Yeah.
you're
That's
saying
2 months.
that you can't start for 2 months, the
No,
curb?
he put that on here, because I spoke to him about it. They're looking to get in, once he finds out when they're starting with the drainage, and they know where they are with the drainage, they're gonna bring him in right after, because once that guy comes, he's moved very fast. They don't wanna bring him and have
Got
him
it.
work
I
2
understand.
weeks,
So you're saying
and
it could
then
be
they're
before,
stopped.
you're saying it could be before August, this is kind of a worst
Yes,
case
this
scenario.
is what they're talking about.
This is the estimate as of this week.
Yeah, because what's gonna happen.
So then is it August or is it before August?
It's the estimate
is
with what they
this
know
week,
this week,
at
and
this
if
point.
conditions change, they can
They
pull
can
it up.
come in earlier if they can, and, because what happens is they come and start ripping out the curbs and sidewalks to put the new curb in. You have to get Verde to put in all their conduits for all the lights. And then on top of that, we have the town putting in all copper for the sprinkler systems and all that. That's all in front of over here by town hall. So he comes in, it's just gonna be mainly, in the beginning, curb everywhere. So you're gonna go, and it's gonna go, and then you're gonna get to a place where you can't go any farther because of the drainage. And then the guy's gonna have to leave, for
No,
like
I'm
2
sure-
weeks. And that's why they're like, we wanna make sure, once they come, they're gonna
Yeah.
be here full-time until they can, till Thanksgiving, they'll be here.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea of why he didn't come yet, because they can do parts. But they don't wanna have him come, because then if you go someplace else and start something else,
We might
so you
lose
get
it.
them back, they might say, oh, well, I have another 3 weeks here, I gotta finish this before I come back, because you stopped me, and then this is what happens when you deal with a
So
lot of this
Jeremy
stuff.
raised a question that I think is important to a lot of parents in this town regarding the traffic signal. And according to this most recent version of the timeline, it looks like the traffic signal will be complete on October 2nd.
Yeah, by the end of October, yeah.
Beginning of, well, it says beginning, not end.
Beginning October,
Beginning of
I'm looking
October.
right here, it's, October's October when it comes to this business.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say, I've been doing this a long time, so I look at these and I go, it looks good on here, but
Yeah.
I'm just
I mean,
being honest
the-
with you, I've seen a million things happen.
Right, the
Something goes
concern
wrong.
that parents are going to have is that, we were hoping that that would be in place prior to the start of the school year. So this is the first time we're seeing an updated version of the plan where that's actually not going to be completed when the kids are back in school. So, I think it's important for us to be able to communicate that out because, parents are making decisions about what their kids can and can't do after school, and that's an important data point for folks. I mean, the other kind of important data, I think, for people to recognize is that the sidewalk work, the final sidewalks are not going to be completed until April of 2019 at this point. That's a typo in this. It says April of 2018, but it's actually April of 2019, right? And then can you explain to me where in this timeline is the final paving of the roads? So I think that's a
Site
marker
restoration,
that a lot
that'll
of
be from
people.
March.
Site restoration.
March until May,
June.
that area.
June.
May, June, yeah, because that's final restorations, like the topsoiling coming off of the sidewalks, all of that kind of stuff, any final plans. Because, again, a lot of this stuff that's coming out, even with the trees now, we're looking at locations of trees, and there's drainage lines that are being abandoned that are where the trees are gonna go now. So we gotta figure out, well, what do you wanna do? Do you wanna pay to have them rip all this stuff out to put the tree in? Because I got places
The
up
answer is
on.
yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. But we got places all up North Greeley, there's a culvert underneath where they wanna put all these trees. So I guess when it was originally looked at, they said, oh, put all these trees here, because you had an architect go here, 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 here. But he never laid it over what the old plans were, and that culvert gets abandoned.
Wow.
But it's a giant concrete structure underneath the sidewalk. I mean, we had the conduits from Verizon go through it. It's built into it. That's the problem I'm having with lowering the conduits on North Greeley. They get
The
the
Verizon
drainage over it.
conduits, right.
The Verizon, they're in steel things, and they're actually go through the footing of the culvert. And the guy's like, oh, because I think they're coming back to try and bill, I don't know how that's working with parts of them moving it and whatever. I mean, I know the inlet in front of Starbucks, the conduits are built into the inlet that we're abandoning. And the guy's like, if I gotta take this apart, you're talking $50,000 worth of work to dig it all the way back to get it down. So I redesigned the inlet to make it shallower, thinner pipe to go across, made it ductile iron, so we can put it on top of it, build over the top of it, because the guy's like, I'll be here forever trying to move this stuff, because it's everywhere. You know?
It won't affect the actual drainage, the stormwater management.
No, it's so over-designed. I told them when they talk, it was 18 inches minimum they usually put in for state work. Minimum size pipe is usually 18 inches. But when you look at all the inlets in the intersection.
The low
and
point.
No, the intersection up there where the light is high point, really, because you have it on the other side. But what I did was I was originally just going to put one 12-inch ductile iron pipe across. And Bob always said, you know, I'd rather it, because it's going to be reduced, so I'll put two. I'll put two 12-inch ones across. It don't matter to me.
Okay, good.
You know, I said, if that pipe can't handle that water, one, you got a lot more problems than that pipe. That'll be going on if there's that kind of water coming through there. So, you know.
So I just want to make the point, going back to the timeline, that being able to see the project schedule like this is really important for us. You know, not only because we have a responsibility to taxpayers to make sure that we're spending their money wisely and that the project's staying on course, but also because we feel a responsibility, all of us, to be able to communicate effectively with residents and with merchants about the status of the project. So thank you for this. This really helps a lot.
Yeah.
I hope that we're able to start receiving it on a monthly basis. It's been a couple of months since we've seen this, and what that means, the fact that it's been a couple of months since we've seen it, is that this is the first time I think we're all getting the sense that instead of this project being substantially complete before the holidays this year, where we have a couple of last, you know, legs that we have to pave, or a couple of last punch list items that we've got to complete before the end of this year, the fact of the matter is we now have a schedule in front of us that is going to allow us to clean up the town in time for the holidays, but that we're actually seeing the schedule being pushed out about 5 months. And so we're talking now about completing at the end of spring 2019.
Yeah.
So, you know, to the extent that we can just be informed of this on a monthly basis so that we can be communicating and setting appropriate expectations, that's tremendously helpful to us.
Well, yeah, and the reason it's been a couple months is because ELQ, the new project manager, went and did the new full CPM, because they had a new project manager. I did not receive the new one. We've been asking for months for this new one. I've been getting the 2-week look-aheads, but he went to a CPM, and that's that 130-page CPM breakdown that he redid, and that's why we just got this yesterday. And actually, it was 2 months shorter, and he was saying, well, that's where it is at this point, but it looks like it's gonna go. And I said, listen, you push it out the way you think it's gonna go now, because it's a lot easier to pull it back than it is to keep pushing it and pushing it. And, you know, and then we had the month shut down. Then the other month with the other things, so there's 2 months. So there's been a lot of other things to involve. That's why.
I just think it's really important we're just all on the same page.
Yeah. And now that we have the new project manager and the new schedule, this is a lot tighter than what we've had before.
That's good.
You know, and the other guy seemed to be, he's a realist. He's saying this is what it looks
Yeah.
like. And, you know, and then at least, like I said, the winter is what's going to kill them. We were trying to get it done, but we knew before that, you know, January, February, December, you can't do anything. You can't concrete and pave. And I mean, Con Ed, we thought was going to start the polls, and we lost 2 weeks because of the one storm came through. The night they were supposed to start, that Tuesday,
Yeah.
is when that came through, and I got a call.
Right.
He texted me, he says, I said, they ain't coming. He texted me back, he said, we have 35,000 people without power.
And it's really
I
a
hope maybe
credit,
2
it's a
weeks."
credit to the town and the work that Jill Shapiro's staff did to get Con Ed back here as quickly as they were.
It came good. We're in contact with them, you know, and it's like I speak to the foremen that are there, the guys that I'm dealing with, and they tell me. I said, just tell me the truth, you know, don't, because if you say you're coming Friday and you don't show up Friday, I get a million emails, how come they're not here Friday? I said, just tell me exactly when you're gonna be here, and then I can tell it. It's just so everybody knows, so.
Every day they're here is a good day.
Yeah, and they're moving nice. They're moving good.
John, the other thing is it's great that we got this from Leo, but one of the things, and thank you very much for submitting ELQ's most recent invoice, but what's really would be helpful to the board is if there's a way that, that you can speak with Leo, if we can get ELQ's invoices a little bit more timely, so the board has a
Yeah.
better idea as to where the, so the money and the progress are simultaneously received. Because you know what, it's a lot of money, it's a very long project,
Yeah.
and it gives the board some degree of confidence that we're on track financially, certainly, when those invoices are received a lot closer to the date. So as of this point, we just received as of April 30th. So do you have any idea when Leo might be submitting to us, May's? Yeah, so it
Well,
would be great if we could get it like next week as opposed to the middle of July.
One would assume
you
he
know?
wants to be paid timely, we should be getting these.
Yeah, well, what happened like with this one is last Tuesday, when they had last Tuesday's meeting, I had the report done, but I hadn't gotten from them their certified payrolls or everything. We had agreed to the number, and I didn't get it until today. So it was a week later. And really, what happened with these last couple is because we're only doing the sanitary sewer. So it's going very, very slow. They're not doing well on putting it in, just because of all the conflicts, everything that's in its way. It's just, they're not making what they should be making on a normal operation. So when you talk about it, there's not a lot, because I can only pay like 50% of a manhole before it's not tested and all of this. So when you start putting it together, they're like, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, we're trying to get this done. That's why all of a sudden it's 2 months. And then we do 2 months because now I tested this, tested that, because it seems when you try doing it with them every month, by the time you get the certified payrolls, you get everything together, you get everything signed and all done, it's a week or so. Now you're on the next, it's like the next week, and they're like, listen, I got done, we really didn't do that much difference.
No, I appreciate the fact
Yeah.
that, a month may go by, but really not that much money has been spent because it's been slow progress.
Yeah.
But I think just as a matter of good discipline.
Oh, yeah, and they're gonna, when I talk to them now, because again, I was with the other project manager, and we were getting stuff from him, and it's like, I can't submit it without certified payrolls. And I'm like, well, we need certified payrolls. If they take 3 weeks to get me certified payrolls, I just sit there with I have the number. And I just sit there with it going, okay, well, when you get it to me,
We'll
I'll put it
take-
Why
in.
don't you submit it to, so why don't you just can you submit it,
Can't without
No,
certified
no,
payrolls.
you need
even just to get an
certified.
idea of what they're looking at? No, when I say
I have the
submit it.
number.
Right,
I
I'd
have
like-
the numbers, and then I call them, and they get it
And
from
can you
their
check their
office, or we
contract?
need to get certs on certain things. I need certifications, sometimes I need tickets that we didn't get for deliveries and stuff like that have to be put in Appia
Yeah.
to do it, and it's just, you say to them, okay, I need it, and just so much stuff is going on. I mean, the project manager, Leo Dragon, now, he's very good at what he does, and he's meticulous. You can see what he puts together, unlike it was before. So now it's gonna be more consistent now, and again, we're going from here, once we start the drainage, I'm hoping now we're gonna be days, then we'll have curbs, sidewalk, drainage, then Verde will show up to start doing the wiring, so now you can have a bunch of different operations, so the monies will be moving a lot swifter.
When is the day crew's coming for the
I'm hoping within 2 weeks to start the,
drainage?
the drainage is gonna be, they're gonna do that at night too, at this point in the game, because the traffic.
But I thought you were gonna have some day.
Yeah, they're supposed to start
Right
with
down
the,
below.
they're hoping this with the curb, because they wanna try and do the curb on Upper King so that we can get those poles in. I gotta get the trees down by Pizza Station I'm trying to coordinate with Con Ed to get them out of certain areas. It's just, there's just so much.
As far as taking down the trees by Pizza Station, I know Steve Coleman's gonna be preparing a memo. I haven't got it yet, but basically talking about all the trees that are coming down, all the trees that are going out. So there's no, people.
We're not stripping the community of its trees.
No, they're going in. I saw the email from Saturday.
Yeah, there's gonna be more trees. And when are those guys gonna get their bench back?
Hey, whatever they
The guys
want.
that are across the Pizza Station every morning?
Yeah.
They were upset because their bench was moved.
They
Yeah,
should
they
get a
voted- they was
presentation,
good.
a ribbon cutting for
That's
them. They are literally fixtures.
Oh, have you seen it? Oh, you have to read it. It was good. It was like a novel.
They did
Very
threaten-
creative
they
writing.
did
It was very
threaten
good.
me.
I think it was good. I gotta give them that. So, but we'll take care of them, whatever they want to do.
They need their bench back.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll move it back there. As soon as we
Good
get
for
done,
now?
I can put it in, so.
Any other questions, or we can send
Good.
you on your way?
Yeah.
Yep, thank you, John.
Bon voyage.
Thanks, John.
John, take care.
All right, I see no public comment.
All right. Any public comments?
I said I see
Oh.
no public comment. I
Terrific.
hear
I
no
had to-
public comment. I hear no, why would you?
Okay, but he said no. Oh, come on.
Mostly questions, no comments.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, that's fine then.
No, my question is the board aware that we're going to lose our taxi service at the end of the month?
No.
Yes.
No, whoa. This is true? Yes.
John, we're aware of it. I read it was in my,
Trying
it was in
to-
my.
All right, I'm sure you were aware of
John,
it.
we sent out the RFP, just for anybody who wasn't tuned in at the beginning of the meeting. We sent out the RFP, 67 taxi companies. We're trying, and it's,
Not a problem. What I was going to suggest is we work with the folks in Mount Kisco because they could serve our households out of Mount Kisco as well, and then to put a couple out there, it might make for less of a footprint at the station.
hopefully they bid on the,
Yeah, they're one of the companies.
Yeah, I think it's very important. I am not at all upset with the town. I am very upset with the service that bought Greeley Taxi and elected to run it like they were a ride service. And we should understand that we should not use this company. I think Chappakins should consider their airport conveyances, because it's good. I also want to thank.
you make a good point, John. I mean, the fact is they did buy Greeley Taxi, and now they're basically saying that the model doesn't work for them. And it's unfortunate, because there are guys that work for Greeley Taxi that have worked there for 20 years.
Well, I didn't like the fact that they were laying a part of the blame on you guys and saying, well, your rent were too high. That's baloney.
It's not the rent.
not the rent.
I know, we
Fact-
know
the
it
fact
was
is we're gonna get-
ridiculous.
We're gonna get a new taxi company here, but these guys that work for them are out of a job, and it's a problem.
Well, maybe we
Because-
can, we can.
I
set
don't
up
think
a-
it's clear that these guys who work for them are out of the job. I think what they said is they're going to a different business model, which is more of a limousine service on call, not sitting at a train station
Okay,
waiting to
well,
come
we'll
in.
do a new business model,
Yes,
which
the
is,
guys that
which
work
is
for
to
them.
avoid these.
No,
calls.
but we don't need to debate.
We're not going there.
Yeah.
You're on the right side of this, but you're on the right side of a lot of things. And I'd like to
Shucks.
let folks know what's happening. There was a discussion, of course, about trees. Gentleman who was managing the project in downtown project, I flew over town and took pictures. And literally from the air, you cannot see anything from on an approach into Westchester Airport or very many of the others, because we have so many trees in town. And so they're doing an extraordinary job. You're managing an enormous amount of construction. 117 Sawmill River Parkway, other places. The town has been doing a great job in doing that. I also want to applaud the town for following through on their Chappaqua Crossing buffer project. The houses were torn down, and they're working hard to get new trees and things in, and they're doing a good job.
They've been planted.
I also look forward to that traffic light so that people don't zoom and try to race from the Sawmill River Parkway to 117 and taking out some of our kids. But I think our citizen base has to be aware of the inconveniences, all of the positives that are happening here. It's really good. Now, if we can only get the other taxing authority in town to reduce their taxes as would be appropriate, I think we would have a mass of folks that would be coming into town. So I just wanted to thank the board for their hard work. I want to thank the town services for their hard work. Our town
That's you, Joe.
administrator
Joe's
is,
the town
our town administrator is texting right now, so. But I do want to thank her.
I'm writing emails to Steve Coleman.
That's fine, it's all good, it's all good. It's,
Services.
you'll get it,
She was actually texting me, and he said he was going to ask questions, not make any comments.
I know, that's true.
Not for nothing.
That's a good point,
He's
but
saying nice things, don't you?
we have a great, group of barristers in town, so I thank you.
Barristers.
Yes, well,
Is that Ed? Yes, Ed. That was Ed.
so, thank you again for your hard work, and we're trying to help you and let us, as citizens, know how we can help you help us.
Oh, that was
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Father.
Thank you. I just want to get a hug or something.
I'd like to open the public hearing on a local law amending Chapter 48, Article 3 concerning electrical inspections.
I know this is a very hot issue, but if
Sec-
anyone has any comments.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I think I can. I haven't really been sure about that.
All right, I'll second if you
Doing a
can't
little
second.
more often enough.
Any comment?
Should we adjourn and take
Keep it
public
open?
comments until
Written
we'll
comments?
pick a date?
Should we just move it for written, close it
Well,
for
why don't
written
we
comments?
close the public hearing and leave it open
Open
for
for written
written
comments.
comments until noon on, whatever next Monday is.
25th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, good.
Okay, I move to adopt the following resolution, which is related to building cleaning service and authorization to re-advertise for bids for the contract. We received sealed bids and in connection with cleaning service, and upon consideration have decided that the town would be best served by rejecting all bid responses and resoliciting bids with a revised theft policy. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby exercises its right to reject all bids submitted in response to the above-mentioned advertisement, and be it further resolved, the town shall reissue the above-described advertisement with a revised theft policy requirement to rebid this contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are we awarding Phase 2?
Yes, with
Okay.
this.
I move to award the bid for the King Street Sidewalk Improvement Project, Phase 2, to Palladino Concrete Creations Corporation, 315 Mount Vernon, New York, for the bid amount of $475,175 and up to $47,525 in contingency for a total award of $522,700.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And to be clear on that particular bid, Jill, that bid is, we do have some monies from Con Edison, correct? Yes. In excess of $200,000, and
Yes.
because of the increase in price, we're looking at the percentages and approaching them about increasing their part.
Contribution.
Thank you.
For a way to share.
Thank you, Jeremy.
You're welcome. I am really on top of it today, so I'm actually going to jump from the new number 3, which is I move to accept the resignation of Matthew Simidomo effective Thursday, June 7, 2018. If I said that name correctly, if I didn't, I apologize.
Second.
Where is it?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's the numbers,
The last
the number
page.
3 moved because
Got
you have
it.
to, before you authorize the post position, we have to accept the resignation. I move to authorize to post for the hiring of labor within the Department of Public Works.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to authorize the hiring of Lauren Cascone as assistant to the town administrator at an annual salary of $67,000 effective July 9th of this year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And since, Lisa, you're running the boat on this, running the show, I'll let you do this one.
You want me to do this one? Is that what you
It's
said?
all you.
I move to approve the retroactive reappointment of the following members of the Arts and Culture Committee for another 2-year term from October 14th, 2017 through October 13th, 2019. Jeffrey Cuddock, Roberta Lasky, David Restivo, and Jonathan Liebner. I also move to approve the appointment of Peg Sackler as a member of the Arts and Culture Committee
JSM.
for a 2-year term effective June 12th. Do you want to do it that way? June 12th, 2018, because she's new. And also that Arden Katz be appointed as the committee's student member for a 2-year term effective June 12th, 2018. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Give this other-
Keep going, Lisa.
Okay. I Move to authorize the Department of Public Works to extend contract prices with Putnam Materials Corp., Inc. for specific highway maintenance materials listed below at the contract price extension set forth below through June 6, 2019.
Second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye. And I move to authorize the Department of Public Works to extend contract prices with Wingdale Materials LLC for specific highway maintenance materials listed below at the contract price extension set forth below through June 6, 2019.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to approve the payment of claims in the amount of $418,005.08 listed on the summary pre-check writing report and detailed voucher detail report, each prepared on June 12, 2018. Checks will be issued and mailed to each claimant listed on Wednesday, June 13th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Keep going.
I move to approve the request from the Bell PTA to hang a banner from November 10th to November 18th for the Bell Craft Fair to be held Saturday, November 17th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to accept the following monthly reports for May 2018: Town Clerk, Court Clerk, Development Department, and Receiver of Taxes.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wait, did you write a resolution? Do we have to do a resolution for
Think
the
it is
other?
for-
Want it tonight, we can ad-lib it. If you want to have it on your next meeting, we can.
No, let's do tonight.
What is this, the resolution
Can you
for?
ad limit?
We refresh
Sure,
recollection.
so this would be,
Oh, scattered books.
this would be a
Oh,
motion
yes, thank
to waive the rental fee at Chapac for an event that's going to
For
be.
an author series. An author series.
Author or literary series that's going to be hosted by Scattered Books,
And the town of
And
Newcastle.
the Arts and Culture Committee. And
Arts and Culture Committee.
And we're able to do that because there's a nexus.
because it's a cultural event.
It's under the town law. The town board is permitted to support events and programming having to do with supporting the arts and things of a cultural nature. And that's what this event is doing.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wait a minute, did we put a dollar amount? Oh, no, that's right.
There's no
Waive
Waiving the
fee.
rent,
Yeah.
it's
We
waiving
We
the
don't have to
standard
do the
rental
dates,
fee.
nothing like that. We don't need to do it.
You want to add them?
Commencing June 28th with subsequent dates to be determined by the Arts and Culture Committee.
One more time, so moved.
So
Second.
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
I moved.
Lisa.
And Jeremy move to adjourn.
I move to
I
adjourn.
second.
All in, okay, now we're on the adjournment. All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Okay.